And the second case study is a local from Apex, North Carolina, just up the road on US 1. It's a place called Knights Play Golf Center. And it is an executive course. It's lit. It's a lot different than the typical golf courses that we all seem to talk about in the industry. And so we have Kevin Jones here. He's the head golf professional and general manager for Knights Play Golf Center. Welcome, Kevin.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Richard. I'm not going to be as fancy as probably most people here. When they called me back in the spring, whoops, I'm sorry. I told you. I told them when he called, I said, I'm just a Southern Baptist old country. That's pretty much what I am. 40 years old, born and raised in North Carolina, Wake County my whole life. This is fancy, kind of new for me. So glad to be here. I got Doc Wade out there from the NC State Pizza. You can come bail me out. I get an emergency. But glad to be here. Didn't grow up around golf. Grew up in a small little town, back farm. Just didn't even play golf. I don't remember anything about the '86 Masters. I've seen the play millions of times, but I'm not playing golf. So I missed all that. I started playing in '88. Played baseball, football, basketball, worked on the farm. But fell in love with golf after I did finally play. Did take long to get decent, never got great. Thank the Lord, that was probably a good blessing. I good enough to do what I do. I love people, I love golf. Went to Lewisburg College for a year, transferred to state, and went to do turf grass. I've never been good enough to be a pro or be in the business, but I love outside, I love doing those things. And so anyway, got involved in the turf grass program at the state, started working at courses and realized I was more the people person side. I love still being on the side. I would change the cut in a heartbeat or mow the greens or whatever. But running the business, being with people. And I went to Carolina Country Club from there. Laugh about when I'm sitting and telling everybody I taught him everything he knows and all that, which I did. He was blessed at a very young age. And I was very good at 8, 9 years old when I was working with him. So I can't take any credit for that. But then, Knights Play come along. I took the job around Christmas of '97 as it was being built. I thought that had a date on there. That's okay. Maybe it's on one coming up. We opened in 1998, May 1st. Has anybody, know Doc Wade, Pixie Young, come out there a lot? Anybody play Knights Play? Couple of hands? Okay. So a few of you know what we got. 27 holes, all par 3s. The longest hole is about 215 yards. That's it, 8 to midnight every day of the year, if the weather permits. I worked a lot this morning before I come down, and they were going out, so that's a blessing. Couple of pictures. I had to get some help on this. Like I said, I had never done anything like this. Talking to Mr. Gary last week, so my marketing lady scrambled and helped me get this together, so we could have something up there at least y'all could look at instead of looking at me. She's doing a couple of pictures, just shows some of our holes. You'll be able to tell a little bit more about what's out there as we go through some of them. Ladies, your family, Chris is a perfect example. We get that day in, day out. Everybody in his family fits, our place, and we see it all the time. Here's a little bit of the history. I was getting ahead of myself. 97, 98, affordable, fun. Anybody can play there. Some of you may recognize Dave's name. Dave Postaway a Pete Dye disciple. 14 years working for the PGA Tour. Dave's claim to fame TPC 17. He was very involved with Pete Dye on that event, and I've seen pictures of him holding snakes, talking with him, building number 17 at Sawgrass. So we were very blessed that Dave was involved with Knights Play. He had a masterpiece of an idea and did a great job. Just some more pictures as we go along, showing our range. One of my assistant professionals, Ken, working with a ladies' clinic. A few of the basics that we offer. As you can see, some of the things there. Try to keep up with my notes here too as we go. We try to have grass and mats every day. We don't always. We've been mats 2 or 3 weeks in a row now because of overseas. Some people really don't like that, so I give away some free tokens. You know, the owner probably don't appreciate that, but I just the way I do it. They come up and I thought we had the grass back by now. We don't. I give them a free large. Butter green, chippy green, butter chip anytime, no charge. We never charge for anything unless you play hit range balls. We never enforce carts. You can walk or ride. Lessons, clinics, the whole deal. 3 sets of tees. So most of you guys here, ladies, would probably prefer the black tee, which has got the 215, the 195, the 196. But the blue tee, 100 yards maybe, 110, the longest. But even that, we have a little blue tee tournament out there for fun. It's funny that there's really nobody shoots on the park. They think they're going to light it up. But the ones I have played and tested that, the greens, they're not flat. They're very undulated. And even as short from the blue tee, it's not very easy to get it under par. I don't have a lot of numbers. Our owner's name's Nelson Hare. He's not big on I've spoken at rotaries and chambers and churches and the YMCA, the first tee. We just talk about what we do. We have fun. He's not big on. He's very tight-lipped on his numbers, but I can give you some basic examples. But the big 5, I told Mr. Gary, green fees, puck fees, range balls, hot dogs, and beer. I mean, that's it. I mean, that's where we make our money out there. That's it. The pro shop, that less than 10%. If I had a nice pie chart, if I knew how to have done all that, I could have showed you. 50% is green fees. It's that simple. About 20% are cart fees, about 20% are range balls, and in the pro shop, the lessons fill into that little 10%. The grill, we look at it kind of separately. It's there, it's the service, and they've got some pretty good food. We do a lunch on the range. We get a small basket with your lunch. We have stuff like that, but it's not a big part of the operation. Mr. Hare really doesn't care if the grill makes money. He just wants it to break even. It's a service. Kind of the same thing with the pro shop. As long as I don't lose, and thank the Lord, I've never lost. I've made terms just barely a little bit, just some years more than others, but I've never lost. But it's truly the green fees, cart fees, and the range balls, and the food process. You know what you make with hot dogs from here. So you can do okay in those areas, and that's really where we hit our home runs. The rest, we're just glad to have a service there that can provide. We do a lot of tournaments, small groups. We're not big enough to do the 130, 40 player outings. We just can't accommodate that. We do a lot of that 20 being a small group to that 80. I love to do 80 players, and people on every whole base being maybe 2 groups on 1, 2 on 10. One thing we've always done though is we've never ever been closed to the public. If I've got an 80 player church outing and you walk up, I'll get you on. We got 27 out, that other 9 might be packed to the gills, but we'll get you in there. So that's one thing we've always done is just be open, even when we're closed. A lot of church groups, and like I said, I've Wade at NC State. The PGM guys come out there a lot. The NC State golf team, KCD, Carolina, depending on their facility situation. They like our nights late at night when they can't get at their respective courses. The YMC, tons of track out camps. The first tee, that missed getting up there. That's my fault, not Debbie's. The first tee is huge in our place. They're out there faithfully a lot. And we don't really charge them to use our facility. If they need a lot of range balls, we'll work out something. We'll work a deal. We give them a lot of times a large for the price of a small or something. Which I can go into. I don't think Debbie got numbers on the thing. Like a large is $9, a small is $5. Things like that. We'll give them a large for the price of a small, a golf team. That's high school guys and girls. Been practicing there since we opened the NC State team. So we work with them. We help them out. We make it very affordable for them. Just so Debbie threw this in, my marketing lady, just on the corporate events. A lot of groups come out, have team buildings and lunch. They do lunch, get a little mini clinic, and we send them out to play. Things like that. So the big events are just not as the small groups are so common. The biggest group I got consistently is about a 40-player league that plays about a 16-week season in the spring and take off, and they just finished this Wednesday night, so it has to be for the season. So we got a lot of regular groups like that. Just a little quickie on staffing. We're pretty small. We're big, but we're small. Me and two others should have probably put the grill manager up there. There have been times I've overseen the grill too and just hired a bunch of part-timers. We do have a full-time grill manager now, so that helps me a lot. And then on the maintenance, Mr. Postaway, who built it, he still serves the role as the superintendent. And then he has one full-time guy, and then they have a bunch of seasonal, a lot of great men that pull their weight for a part of the year, and then they head back to Mexico, their respective homes for the winter, and they come back in the spring. So, Mr. Harris is not a big budget guy. It's just a blessing for me, but if we need them, we need them. If we don't, we don't. That's sort of the way we do it. I got tons of great multiple seasonal, that could be 20 to 30 guys. We pay all of our rangers. We haven't done a lot of raises either, but we pay all of our guys. They get all the free golf they want, discounts on. They want a dozen Pro V1s, they give me $37. That's what they are. They get it for wholesale. That's the way it goes. So there's some benefits to working there. They don't make a lot of money, but they get all the perks. We just make it work. I could add that during the season, when we're really slamming, in May, June, July, from the Masters to about the PGA, we're probably at our highest level. And I'd have probably 30 at the most. But that would include 2 or 3 ranges at night when we're really cramming them in at night, there till midnight. So some crowd control issues there. We have to be better staffed for today. When I left, I had one guy inside and one guy outside, and they were going to take care of everything for me. It'd be a little slow. Couple more pictures. There's a good shot of an early evening as the lights are coming on. This particular day, we did have grass on one side. That net kind of divides the middle, mats on the other. So that's a pretty good crowd. But on the range, many a night, you see people standing in line. That's always a good sign, waiting for a spot to hit. There's Ken again doing, he's our ladies man. He does all the ladies clinics. So he got a big group out. That was pretty recent, just a couple weeks ago. As the leaves are just starting to change in the back. Some of the little things we do, a frequent night card. Every time you pay, you get a free punch. And I'm Mr. Generous. I do multiple punches. Again, unfortunately, Nelson Hank gave me away because I do give probably more away than I should. But I really, really love our people. And we're so blessed to have so many out. So, especially for example, on the weekend, we don't normally have a junior rate or senior rate like we do during the week. But so retarded as I am, I give multiple punches. You know, they appreciate it. They come back, help them get a free round a little quicker. The range card, instead of just buying a large or a small, you can buy a multi-use card. We don't have an annual plan or anything. For example, you pay $130, but you can get a card that have $180 on it. So do the math, it nets your large down to about $650 a large instead of $9 each time you come in. So very beneficial to regular participants that practice out there a lot. A lot of people that buy the range card are members of Progressive Downs, Devil's Ridge, Prestonwood, just a few places in our area that are private. Devil's Ridge now is private, Big Winds and Fuquay. But when their range is closed, or now with time about to change here in a couple of weeks, they know we're going to be there. And so they can come and still practice and play. The birthday deal, give the free round on the birthday. That's always a nice little extra. Another picture of just the dad and his kid. That's nice play. Right there, it's only 2 people, and you see our carts and our putt green. But there's days that putt green's full of that. We start on Saturday. Now Dave and Jerry, I got to give them a lot of credit. That putt green gets destroyed. The kids just, you know, kids are kids. And they're going to run, and we ask them nicely not to, without hurting their feelings or upsetting dad or mom. But with the amount of rounds we do, and the skill level of the players, a lot of people just don't know. And so we have to deal with that. But that's growing the game in our opinion. And so as the more kids we know no specific dress code, we just pray in the summer they stay closed, honestly. At night it gets a little wild, get a little alcohol going, and some of my rangers can tell you some stories way back on that back night. So they call about a dress code, and we really don't. We don't really have one. We ask them. We prefer no really skimpy cutoffs or raggedy tank tops. But if they come in with that on, we don't turn them away. Again, I try to kill them with kindness, smooth it over. Sir or ma'am, next time, we'd appreciate it if you could help us out. But anyway, just another example. I can get going on examples. Being there 15 years, we've seen a lot of stuff. One reason the day was a little busy, even with the poor weather, half price green fee until 5. The normal green fee is $12 for 18 holes or $8 for 9. So today, it was 6 and 4. Now that's just walking, of course. But, you know, I took in a good bike Friday, I was walking 27, $10, 6 and 4. And they got double punches too, you know, so they're paying. And I'm killing them with the punches. And they're going to come back this weekend to get that free round, so they're paying all half price for it. But that's okay. It's just the way it works out there. And that's part of the reason, you know, we've been able to hang in there and do okay. We give the ladies half price again on Thursday, another opportunity. The hard part is the 5 p.m. when you know they're coming and when you cut it off, and that's always so hard. You're going to upset somebody. But what we do, we block out from like 5 to like 5:45. We just don't take any time. We use it as a buffer, but some days there's so many people in line at the first tee you need that much time to get it cleared out. Last thing you want is the tee time coming up and being, you know, 8 groups deep on the tee. So it works both ways. So we kind of wing it on the 5-ish cutoff. New golfers, women, tons of kids. We saw the ladies clinic. We also do a huge kids clinic. And I should have said along the way, I'm okay. If it's not against the rules, ask something anytime. If you don't want to wait, I'm easy, whatever. Because it just rolled over. If I forget something, yell at me. But another, let's see what we got. Debbie, put the website on there. Debbie, who is the marketing lady, who can work with me on that, she's not, Nelson's not a golfer, and Debbie's not a golfer, so I want to work my marketing lady, neither one golf. Very unusual. Dave, who built it, doesn't play. So it's very interesting. But we tried the electronic tee times you'll see there for a while. Honestly, at night's play, I was talking to Rob earlier, you really don't need a tee time. We take them 6, maybe 5:30 to 9 during that April, May, June, July, August is a good idea. We do occasionally have to go on a waiting list at night. But if you walk in without a time, we're going to get you out. If we have to smooth you for a little bit, give you a free bucket to let until we get a spot. If we run out of carts, we work it out. I know it's hard to understand, but at times, but it just works. Debbie has done a lot with it. She gets all the credit for the website. I've done nothing with it other than just answer emails if they send me something. She's starting to experiment with some online. We see around Christmas, we sell a ton of gift certificates around Father's Day and around Christmas. And it's mostly ladies buying for men, but we're starting to see more and more even men now buying for ladies. So the best you can track it is added a few sales in there. Most people we still handwrite the old gift certificate. We hand it on to the card. It's big and fat. It's not, I don't know. It just works. We handwrite it. If you walk in, you have $100. You want to take off a small and go buy a hot dog, we just adjust it and we bring it all in when you finally spend it. It just works. But we're coming around. Nelson, my owner's mid to late 70s, complete non-techy, no email, no text, no nothing. It's just the way it is. I'm a little bit like that. It took me a while to come around, but I'm getting there. But Debbie is very techy, and so she's helping us. She's helping us grow and come in that direction. That may be about all she has, other than a few more pictures. I did jot down just a few miscellaneous things. There's a little shot of the pro shop. That's one little, it's just a little. Our shop's really small. This is pretty old. If you can really see some of the equipment, you can probably tell. She didn't have a real updated shop, an updated picture of the shop. But one little club room. I buy tons of samples. The only thing I got in there right now is covered by NC State stuff that I pay, what you say, normal wholesale. I just bought 200 pieces for DP, Pro, Allison Briggs, and Charlotte. You know, she sells them to me really, really dirt cheap, and I put them on my latest rack, sell them for $19.99, $24.99. Extremely affordable. Another shot from outside. That might be about it for me, so I'll go back and leave it on that. I did jot down just some miscellaneous things, and I'm sure if y'all have any questions, I can try to answer. On that one graphic, there was one. We average about 80 being open since May 1st of 98. If you go from May 1 to April 30, that's our year. We go by that. 95,000-ish was our week. Like I said, we opened in 98. Tiger was on the scene. The economy was great. I mean, we started with 30 carts. Like 3 weeks later, we were getting like 30 more. I'm like, okay, we gotta go. I thought everybody was gonna walk. It's a part 3. I was coming from high-end Carolina Country Club. It got busy quick. We only had 18 holes too. So the long-range plan was that opened at 39 down the road, when we supposed to wait. So he opened it in 99. It happened quick. It just started, the ball started rolling. And we just killed it through about, when was it? 05, 06, when you had get peak. And we saw that, you know, that 95, 96, 97 started being 90, and then 88, 89. We dropped it to the 70s, high 70s a couple of years. We never went too long with those, but we did go. But the last year was back up around that 80, 84, 85. So on an average, we've stayed consistent. I jotted down about half ride. Most of our play walks. So they're about 50-50. So about, if 85,000 was the rounds, usually about 40-ish or so ride, and then about 60,000 range balls, just to give you a ballpark. Now that's 9 and 18. That's just 85,000 9 counts. You play 9, I play 18. That's 2 rounds. Just to give you kind of an idea of ballpark. If you took an average dollar per head, if we do 200 rounds in a day, $20 has been kind of that magic number of a per head rate. Obviously on Monday, there's some Mondays during the season where we'll do 600 rounds on a half price Monday. So obviously that day, it's not $20 a head, because we're telling it at half price all day. You see a huge decrease, you may drop back down to $13 or $14 a head. But just an example of kind of, I guess the highest rounds, our record day was like 717 rounds. It was the Monday after the U.S. Open. And down here, the weather was great. People were just on fire. And you can just, we say 8 to midnight, but we'll start sending them about, again, Dave and Jerry. If the course is ready at 7, they let me start sending them. And so we do. Around 10-ish is, again, there's no black or white nights play. It's all one big gray area. It's just the way we do it. If at 10, there's still a group on the tee, and here comes another foursome, we're not going to not send them. You know, once that group, the last group gets like 2 or 3 holes out, then you can kind of say, okay, we're done. You got to cut it off eventually. But just to give you some examples. Yes, sir.
What is your average pace of play for 9 holes?
It takes about an hour and a half for 9. That's the average. Now again, there are going to be days you could fly through if nobody wants us out there. By the same token, the last usually about 8:30 is that gray area for cutting off 18, because by that time of the night, 18's gotten up to about 3.5 hours if it's really crowded. So, yes, sir.
Kevin, I really appreciate what you're doing. My name's Bill Baker with the First Tee to Sandhills here, and I was just going to ask, as far as economic impact, allowing the First Tee program out, would you say it's a negative or a positive economic impact to your facility?
Definitely positive, yes. Even though we don't really charge the First Tee very much to use it, tons of those kids come there. We see those parents, those kids, faithfully out there on the weekends or before, they'll go out and play. So very positive. We got a great relationship. You probably know T.D. Luton and the guys in Raleigh. TD and Brandon, outstanding men, and it's been a very beneficial, very good. And the YMCA, the same thing. There's one guy runs a homeschool camp. He's out there every week with like homeschool. A guy runs a track camp. A lot of year-round schools in Wayne County. I know y'all from all around. Tons of year-round schools. He had 6 this morning. Now, it was going to be kind of bad today, so I think they were opting for a movie. So they'll come tonight's play, they'll go, you know, and then they come back, but they'll play multiple times this week. So yeah, the kids, it's just a great place. The families, the kids. Half of our rounds are definitely seniors. You know, seniors are huge, kids are huge. It's just a great place for everybody. Anybody else? Yes, sir.
I was just going to say, I live very close to your, course, and I'm a rater with Golf Digest. I'm on their national panel, so I'm used to playing the top 100 courses and that sort of thing. And I have to say that I've been very impressed with your operation. I take my grandkids out there, and I've introduced them to golf, and nice play. And I've never had the double punch that you're talking about. But one of the things that I just shake my head at every time I go is when you said 50% ride. Most of the time when I've been out there, I told my grandson he will never ride a car as long as I'm playing. You know, he's going to walk. Right. And he's going to learn the game that way anyway. What he does when he gets older is up to him. But every time I've been out there, we're the only ones walking. I mean, everybody else is riding. I mean, it's a gentle grade. It's 9 holes. Most people are playing 9, right, and everybody's riding. And I'm thinking this has got to be the biggest gold mine in the world. But for most people here who haven't seen it, will never see it. I take my hat off to you for a par 3 course. It's very well done. The holes are. It's not just another par 3 course you go out and play. I mean, it's fun for the young kids who are learning, but it's also for those of us who think we can hit the ball. It's still fun to do. So, thanks for a good job.
Thank you. I appreciate the comment. We do hear that a lot. I've had people come up in town, they hurry up and found us, they check in, and they get out and pay. Oh, it's a par 3. You know, they just were in such a hurry, they didn't even realize it was a par 3. I gave them their money back. I said, I tell you what, go play it. If you hate it, no problem. No questions asked, your money back. It doesn't happen. Like you said, they love it. And I wish there were some better pictures of some of the holes. But like you said, there's some beautiful holes. Did I see another hand somewhere? Right. Yes, sir.
I don't see any, but you have artificial turf as well with the rain.
Yeah. If you can, at the back of the map, there's a divider that runs all the way down. Those are just your standard golf mat, and we change them out as they wear out. But there's a net that runs through the middle. At one side of grass, usually the other side is mats. The entire course is on turf grass, so no mats on it. We've discussed maybe some mats during the winter because it gets just so destroyed, especially the shorter holes with just numerous wedges, you know. But all grass. Yes.
Do you do club runs? You have club?
We do. We do very basic club runs, $5 a set. We don't, no Callaways, no pings, no high-end stuff. Just your basic 3.579 wedge.
You didn't mention that in your revenue summary, so I gather it's not a big.
It's not. It's not. That's correct. It's not. And a lot of times, again, I go in. I just give them a lot of time. It's just easy. Here you go. Have a free set. Yes.
If you were to be building this today, is there anything you would do different knowing what you know now?
I think so. Dave would be probably a better resource on that. He would have probably built, and he did it on the third nine, because we opened in 98, and then later on 99 on the third nine. Tee boxes are bigger on the third nine. There's some things he changed, because some of the tees really, that's our biggest struggle. Thank the Lord, he's kept the greens in pretty good shape through all this madness of the years, and especially the summers, we're still hanging on those big grass greens. We haven't made a change yet, but possibly Bermuda grass greens, maybe, as we're seeing that happen more in our area. Numerous courses in the Raleigh area going to the champions or the other. What's the other one? typical or something.
Mini
Bird, excuse me, that's the one. So I don't know, and I don't know if that'll ever happen for us, but that would be a consideration. And certainly some bigger tee boxes. We should have done a room, not this big, an outing room, a party room. We don't really, that clubhouse is pretty small. There wasn't a picture of the grill. I hate we didn't get one in there, but it's quite small because some groups will rent a big tent over on this side that you couldn't see. There is a big open field that joins Mr. Harris' property. Nelson Harris, the owner, is a huge pipeline construction guy. So his property backs up to the property of the course. So we'll let them stick a little tent out there. But it would be nice to have more of a meeting room, an outing room. I'll let you, I don't know, I see a lot of hands. I don't know how much time you still want me to go.
We've got time for just one more quick question and then we'll have to move on.
Just a quick one. We're a GRA top 100 range as well. But I've never wanted to have alcohol. Now, if you were going to do it over again, if it was just you doing it, would you bother with alcohol? Not from a moral point of view, but from the point of view of people getting maybe belligerent with your staff or bringing in their own beer or
Right.
just getting a little noisy and...
Yeah, that's a great question. I don't drink, so I'm not a big fan of it personally, but I know it's in the Big Five. I mean, the grill kills it on beer. We don't allow them to bring their own. However, that's why there's multiple rings at night and Sunday. We have some problems, and there's times you have to get ugly and physically. You know, we're cautious when we take it away from them. We'll keep it in the shop. We'll keep it on ice, and we'll give it back to you when you're done. But yeah, I would be lying to you if I said it hadn't caused some problems. But I also, I couldn't imagine us not carrying it, especially because the number of hours we're open. I mean, we make many an emergency run to the grocery store because we're out. I'll be around through the break or after a while. I'm always available if I can ever answer any questions at another time.
All right, let's go.